Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really delighted to be back with you. My name is Sue. I'm from the Soul Lighthouse, and today is the perfect day to actually meet to discuss what the energy of the month has in store for us. We're on a new moon, and as you know, it's always auspicious to start something new on a new moon, a new direction, a new project, a new relationship, a new way forward, a new project. Whatever it is, it's a very good auspicious energy for new beginnings. Now, May is a very important month for us. I cannot believe that we are already in May. This year has just flown by at a rate of knots. But if there was one message that this month has for us, it is hold the center. Hold the center, and I'm going to explain why. You'll see why as we go through this short little video, because it's another big month for us energy wise. And let's just have a look and start off with the numerological perspective. May resonates with a 5 energy. Now, for those of you who study numerology, 5, as you know, it's an action-packed energy. It really likes to be moving. It is an energy that is often unpredictable. It likes to be in motion. It adapts to its situation. And it is either to be found flat out and really, really running hell for leather, or completely switched off and lying on the couch and just watching reruns on Netflix. That 5 energy is all about change. It's very often independent, and it is easily bored because it likes things to be fast moving. And this is the energy that we've got as we go through May. Now, as we add in the energy of 2019, you know that it resonates with a 3 energy. We add the two of those together. The unpredictability of that 5 energy, which is wrapped up in May, tied up with the energy of the 2019, which is a 3, and that gives us an 8. So this is kind of what it looks like. 5 is all about explosive energy. Let's act, let's move, let's do it now. Or let's not move at all. It's all about energy. That 5 energy is all about energy. That 3 is all about curious exploration. It's all about having fun and dancing. And very often when those two get together, it's fireworks. It really can be a lot of charisma, a lot of chemistry, and a lot of fireworks that are happening as it sizzles and it crackles and it pops with all sorts of adventures. The 5 is up for adventures, the 3 is up for game. Let's get out there and let's see what the world has to offer. So you can see it's a very charismatic energy that we have when this 5 meets the 3. But from a not so good perspective, when we put the 5 and the 3 together, we often talk about them as the play energy, the spontaneous energy of numerology, because the 5 can get so charged up and so active that it just rushes into action without thinking things through very clearly. And so can the 3. And so it can be, it sounds like a great idea. Let's go to the casino and let's gamble our rent money and see if we make lots and lots of money. It can be, let's not finish this project, let's not finish this deadline, let's go away for the weekend, we'll do the deadlines later. It's that kind of irresponsible, that kind of unpredictability that happens when we put those 5 and the 3 together. A lot of charisma, a lot of power, a lot of crackling, but very often they are not so good on doing what is necessary and what is responsible. And so we need to be very sure as we go through this month that we tread that very fine line between adventure and fun and curiosity and excitement on the one hand, up for anything, come on, let's get it done, and on the other hand, actually doing what needs to be done. So you can see already why holding the center is so important between excitement and responsibility. Because the danger of the 5 and the 3 dancing together is that they avoid and they step away from and they actually don't do what needs to be done. And the danger of the 5 and the 3 together is that they put a mask in front and you actually don't know what's happening behind. So it is not easy to read at face value. And it has this energy that it can be very, very colorful and very, very captivating and very, very dynamic, but sometimes it falls short on actually delivering the goods. And so this is one of the first instances where we can see the importance of holding the center between charisma, adventure, dance, let's get it done, and actually knuckling down and doing the hard work. You can see that there are two opposing forces that are going through here. And this is a very good little graphic to remember, especially in an energy like we have this month, of what is my responsibility and what is not my responsibility. So my responsibility, of course, I need to be very clear on my words and my actions and my behaviors of what it is that I am responsible for, but also being very aware of what I'm not responsible for. In an energy like this, where it has the potential to be extreme, I might find myself in a space where I'm trying to pick up other people's dropped responsibilities. Or I might be dropping my responsibilities and letting other people pick them up. And so again, hold that center. What is my responsibility and what is other people's responsibility between this very captivating energy and this very almost avoiding of responsibility and what needs to be done. So you can see already here, hold the center, because here's the energy now of the 8. We add the 5 and we add the 3, and an 8 energy from a numerological perspective is often spoken about. It's all about money, it's all about power, it's all about building empires. And people often think that that is all there is to this energy. Well, it goes a lot deeper, because the 8 is also about decisions. It's also very assertive, and it has a natural authority. And you know, in a negative space, that assertiveness can really end up being downright aggressive, and that authority can end up being the complete dictator. There's always a positive and there's always a negative to any value. That 8 can also get so easily frustrated because it can be very, very dominant. So now imagine this: if 8 was a person and it was trying to manage a 5 and it was trying to manage a 3, and they're so spontaneous and they're moving and having fun and it's just great. You can understand that the 8, which needs the facts and the figures, how it could get very, very frustrating, and how it could be in a space where it tries to overpower and dominate with authority. That 8 is also about balance. It's such a powerful energy because it can be very, very practical, and it can be very, very materialistic and grounded in realism. And there are times that we need to be absolutely emotional, and there are times that we are physical, and there are times that we are mental, and there are times that we are spiritual. And the 8 in its full power brings all of those energies together. But it goes one step deeper, because if you look at where an 8 actually meets, that's the center. And the 8's real meaning is that whatever is above is reflected below, whatever is within is reflected without. It represents the absolute duality. And so once again, it is exhorting us: hold the center. Be aware of the center. Don't get so focused in on chasing the money that you lose sight of the big picture. Don't get so sucked into the blue sky thinking that you lose all perspective of grounding it in reality. Hold the center and hold both aspects, all aspects in either hand. So here you can see again, this is our second message that says be in a very, very centered space, because the danger of a month like this is it can really lead us into chaos, and it can really lead us into catastrophic thinking, and it can lead us into blue sky thinking, and it can lead us into complete irresponsibility. But on the other side, the danger of this is that we get so bogged down in responsibility and so bogged down in what needs to be done that we're picking up everybody else's dropped loose ends. And neither of those are healthy. So again, come back to that space of the center. And I loved this picture because it takes those fireworks that we were speaking about that happen when you have that 5 and that 3 energy, and it just creates this glorious, glorious energy of infinity, that 8 energy, which is really just a very, very powerful image to keep in your mind as we go through this month. So what are the planets doing as we go through this month? And I just want to remind you that I don't do Western astrology, I do Vedic astrology. And so there is a very subtle difference between the timing of where the planets are and which house and in which sign they are. So just bear in mind that this is not a Western astrology perspective, but very much a Vedic astrology. And the first thing we need to know is that Saturn has just gone retrograde in Sagittarius. It will finish its journey in Capricorn, but it's just gone fiery retrograde into Sagittarius. We know that Sagittarius is actually that very, very fiery sign. And what it is, it's now dancing with Ketu, and it's dancing with retrograde Jupiter. And we spoke about that at great length in the Vedic New Year and in the video of the Snake of Transformation. And if you haven't seen those videos, I will put the links in underneath this so that you can have a look and you can bring yourself up to speed. So first up, we've got Saturn has just gone retrograde, and it's dancing with Ketu and it's dancing with retrograde Jupiter. And the second thing that we need to be aware is where we've got Mercury entering into Aries. The Sun is still in Aries, and in Vedic astrology, this new moon is in Aries. And what do we know about that Aries energy? Well, we know it's dynamic. We know it's headstrong. We know it's creative. So wow, there's already that synergy with the 5 and the 3 that we've been speaking about. We know that it's very definitely a leader energy. So again, there's an echoing now of that 8 energy. But Sagittarius is a fiery energy. So there we have a lot of fire that's dancing. And just as we're thinking that we're going dancing off into chaos and into absolute movement, and we're just spinning off, we remember that we have retrograde Saturn and we have retrograde Jupiter, and these are the 2 old men of the universe. Everybody else moves an awful lot faster. Everybody else is an awful lot more dynamic and more active and more fiery. And when Saturn goes retrograde and it joins in retrograde Jupiter, it slows things down. And that, for me, is one of the most exciting pieces of news that I've heard all year. I have to tell you, I don't have to explain. It's been a very busy year. It's been a chaotic year. And I, for one, I will tell you, I'm exhausted. Body, mind, spirit, I'm absolutely shattered because there is just so much that we are doing and that still needs to be done. And so that even when you're resting, there's just a few hours to rest before you get up and do it all over again. So the fact that we have this energy that comes in now and it tells us to slow down, and it slows things down for us, for me, is an absolute godsend. And this picture that I've got on the screen of tug of war is kind of what we've got here, because on the one side, we've got action, we've got movement, we've got dynamic, we've got now on the one side. And that is all very fiery and very dynamic, and lots and lots of movement and lots of energy. And on the other side, we've got Saturn and we've got Jupiter, and they're saying, slow it down, go within, take it easy, take a breath. And again, you can see that message of holding the center, of being in the center, because we cannot just sit down for an entire month and do nothing. As tempting as that might sound, the world doesn't work that way. There's always stuff that needs to be done. But when Saturn and Jupiter come in and say, you know what, there is a time to dance and there is a time to breathe. There is a time to get out there and be very active and busy, and there is a time to consolidate. We are being urged this month to breathe, to consolidate, to be in that space where we hold the center. And if you look at that, and you can see I've drawn the center down the middle of that slide, and if you look at that and you can see on the one side, Saturn is saying to us, go into consideration, be deliberate with your actions, be consequential, go within. Don't go down the rabbit hole of chaos. Don't get so sucked into movement and chaos and action and so on that you're always doing everything on the external. Balance it. So it's consideration and then action. It's deliberation and then movement. And it is going within into a space of quietness and center and meditation, and then going without in terms of action. And you can see how that's just that perspective helps us to slow the chaos down, because we're being urged on the one hand, think big. 2019 is a big year. I cannot stress that enough. It's an exceptionally big year. But on the other side, we're saying slow it down so that you can map it out, because we can spend all our energy in big thinking. But unless we've got the building stones of the process, and we've got the building stones of what needs to happen where, we're not going to get very much down. So on the one side, think big, absolutely. On the other side, deliberate consideration, and then step into action. Because if we don't, we end up in a space where we just don't know what the hell to do, because everything is just all over the place all the time. And especially in a year like 2019, where things are just so busy, if you find yourself in a space where you're going, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start, I just have no clue, it's just overwhelming, and take the message that Saturn is giving you and slow it down. Really, truly give yourself permission to go from this crazy pace into a space where you stop and you smell the roses. Instead of hurtling down the highway of life, that we take it a little bit easier. We don't always have to be trying to drive the Porsche down the highway of life. Sometimes it's much easier and it's much more comfortable to ride the pony. And that's the message that we've got in this month, is recalibrate, find the center, recalibrate, find your peace, recalibrate, find your strength, and then get into action. In other words, slow down and smell the coffee. And if coffee is not your thing, well, slow down and smell your herbal tea, but slow down and smell the coffee, because we need to be in that space of recalibrating within. Trust me, the year is going to get busier again. So we take our pit stops when they come, and we take them as they are presented to us. Okay, so this is why we turn around and we say, hold the center. Just one more warning before I leave is that because we've got Saturn is now dancing in the same house as Ketu, and Ketu thrives on secrets, and Ketu is about what's unseen. Ketu in its negative form is the spy of the universe. And because we've got this conjunction happening at the moment, that there are times that we might feel that everybody's against us. And we might feel at our very worst a tad paranoid, and a tad that there's conspiracy theories and there's all sorts of things that are happening. This is the action of Saturn dancing with Ketu. And it tends to make us, again, that we can actually go down the rabbit hole, as I call it, go into chaotic thinking. And we stop seeing what is, and we then go into conspiracy, or we go into paranoia or anxiety or worry. If you find yourself in that space, then do what Saturn is telling us to do and go into that energy where you practice the pause. Really, just pause it. Pause the story that's in your head, pause all the deadlines, all the chaos, all the demands that are on you. Just go into that space of pause so that you can recalibrate. Because when we act from a space of center, then our actions are deliberate and they are considerate and they are consequential. When we act before thinking, we just end up in a space where it's like, oh my God, and now I jump from the frying pan into the fire. So this is one of the things that you just be aware. If you find yourself in a space of paranoia, anxiety, stress, worry, thinking that everybody is out to get you, it is your sign to yourself that says, stop, walk away, and go within. The message for May, really, truly, hold the center. And I promise you that if you take some downtime, and if you allow yourself to rest, if you allow yourself to plan the process before you spring into action, if you allow this energy that is the 5 and the 3 to dance with you, but not irresponsibly, to be able to be responsible for what is yours and let go what is not yours, you will find yourself in a space of absolute power as you go through this month. Now, I am going to practice what I preach. I am going to take some time off this weekend and just put my feet up and allow myself to rest. And I hope that you do too. I hope you get some time where you can rest, where you can just breathe, where you can recalibrate, where you can slow down and you can smell the coffee. And with that in mind, it just helps you to harness the absolute power that this month has for us. If this has resonated with you and you would like to find out how this energy is dancing with your unique blueprint, get hold of me, set up a session, and let's have a look and see what is happening in your energy and how you can maximize the energy of the time to your very, very best benefit. I hope you found power and use and value out of this very short little video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with you really, really soon. Have a great weekend, a great week ahead, and a fantastic month. See you soon. Bye for now.